With the resources already covered in previous videos, you should be covered with all your UI needs, but there will be occasions where there is a specific item missing or you'd like to see a different option for your UI elements. React Native Elements is a solid option that offers everything you need and a lot of support behind it too. So first go to github.com/React Native community/React Native Elements. As you scroll down, you'll pass the repo, the code, and then you'll get into the documentation. The very first thing that I want to point out is if you're trying the code or if you're installing the libraries as we go through the courses, you can do so by using the npm command here to install the dependencies for React Native Elements and then install React Native Elements through the npm command here. The next thing I want to show you is the code to implement the elements. So if you take a look at the example here, basically what you have to do first, and this is ES6 syntax, is to import the button from the actual library and then use it in your component like so. But the very cool thing about this library is that there's tons of examples, and basically every element has documentation in here. So if you take a look at the buttons, for example, you have a cool image of the buttons available and then how to implement it with the code. So you'll see the import and then you'll see the actual button here. So if you take a look at the second one, button with icon, and then you scroll all the way up, you'll see that it is this one here, and so on and so forth. So you actually see the examples visually as well as the code that's related to it. So if you go to any other examples, you can see that they have the same approach for everything. So if we go for the grid component, you'll see that there's an image, then the code, how to import it, and so on and so forth. So it's one of the most well-documented libraries that I'm covering in this course. So if you need anything in here, definitely you'll be able to use it. But the question is why? Well, for some people, as opposed to use the native base, they'd like to build their own components. Well, this is where this would come into play. Or sometimes they would like to do or use something that they don't have in native base. So for example, they may want to have social icons. Well, they could use that from this library and implement it into native base or their React Native application. So this is one of the major reasons why you would need something like this. So last but not least, I want to show you an implementation of the elements of this library here, which is the React Native Hackathon Starter project, just to show you what it looks like in action. So this is an actual project that uses the React Native elements throughout the entire project, and you can see how they've used it, and you could actually take a look at the code here and use it. So if you're wondering where we're at, just go back, and it's inside of that particular repo in the examples area. So if you scroll back up here, you'll see the examples, and then you can scroll all the way down to here and then click on React Native Hackathon project. In the next video, we'll show you example projects built by others to inspire you and get you started. See you in a bit.